It's the America East playoffs on ESPN, presented by Jersey Mike's here at Costello Athletic Center. Chris Villani and Jim Borodoka with you. Just moments ago, the number 2 seeded UMass Lowell Riverhawks knocked off the 3 seed, the Bryant Bulldogs, 77-70, the final. And Jim, this was a fantastic college basketball game. It was rarely more than a 2-possession game either way. Bryant built up a little bit of a lead, but big plays by the Riverhawks down the stretch to win it.
Yeah, the Riverhawks really stepped up, and we talked about their balance all year. We certainly saw that today, but a lot of credit goes to Bryant. I mean, those kids came in here without one of their best players, and they really competed.
Well, in the absence of Earl Timberlake, it was Rafael Pinzon who stepped up. We'll talk about him in just a moment, but taking a look at our Jersey Mike's bracket, Vermont and Lowell, it's chalk 1 and 2. It wasn't an easy route to the final for either one of these teams. Vermont got a scare in the first round, so did Lowell. Obviously, Lowell got everything it could handle tonight. It was a tight one at Patrick Gym, but it's going to be the top 2 teams, Jim, and it's going to be a rematch of last year's final.
As it should be. That was a great final last year. You know, both of these teams competitive games this year. So really looking forward to Saturday. And again, this is something that I know for UMass Lowell. I mean, Vermont's there every year. But for the Riverhawks, they had this circled on their calendar. This is what they wanted. This was their goal entering into the season. And a credit to them that they have an opportunity to get that ring.
Catamounts, the Blue Blood program. But for Lowell, they've been in the final now 3 of the last 4 seasons. But Bryant was not an easy out tonight, and a big reason why was Rafael Pinzon.
I'll tell you, Pinzon was great tonight. I mean, he's just a big-time scorer. You know, talked about his ability to get shots off at the 6'6" height, high release, but he really showed us a little bit of everything. I tell you, first time he was in here, I didn't think much of him. Then I saw he hit for 30 plus. Very impressive tonight. The kid can score in bunches, and he makes tough shots.
24 points for him, 3 of 7 from beyond the arc. The Riverhawks, typical balance. A lot of guys get into double figures, 4 of them tonight, but it was Yuri Covington in the second half who hit some really big shots for the Riverhawks.
Yeah, and I think Yuri got going on the defensive side. We saw him on Gross Bullock really get up into him, cause the turnover. Then he started making a couple of shots, got that 3-point play, and from that point forward, he was doing everything, and the rest of the guys followed his lead. 17 points and 10 rebounds for Yuri Covington. He and UMass Lowell advance on to the America East Championship game. It'll be a Saturday morning matchup against the Catamounts at Patrick Gym. As you look at the final numbers here, Bryant just 5 of 24 from beyond the arc. Sharif Gross-Bullock, their all-conference player, top scorer, just really couldn't get going from distance. And other than Pinzon, they really didn't have much from beyond the arc. They defended the paint well, but couldn't score much from the perimeter. Yeah, I mean, usually you look at the stats at the end of a game and you can point to 1 or 2 that you can say, well, there's the difference in the game. You can't really do that here because both teams didn't shoot it well from deep. Certainly not from the 3-point line, and they both shot a high percentage, at least on their 2-point shots. So, you know, rebounding fairly even. You know, as the Riverhawks, they rebound well from the guard spot, so you expect them to win that battle. Chris, as you said, this was a very entertaining, competitive college basketball game. What we've come to expect from these 2 programs.
Offensive rebounds, 1 difference there, 13-7. It led to 11 second chance points, and in a game that was 2 possessions, 1 possession pretty much the entire way, never more than 3 possessions. Those plays, those winning plays, made all the difference for the Riverhawks here tonight.
Yeah, they really did, and I think they got a boost from the crowd. You know, I know Coach Duquette's been talking about, you know, crowds got to get here. They got to take advantage of the small Costello Gymnasium. They showed up today, and they were loud, and I definitely think it had an impact on both sides in the stretch run of the second half.
The Riverhawks win. They'll go into a hostile environment on Saturday, taking on the top-seeded Catamounts. Our final score, UMass Lowell 77 and Bryant 70. For Jim Borodoka, I'm Chris Villani saying good night from Costello.